Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk to you about the Secret Society of Second Born Royals. That is a very long title. This came out in 2020 on Disney Plus, and it's a Disney Plus movie. It's associated with that of Disney Channel. It's a pretty good movie, I gotta say. I really enjoyed this a lot. It reminded me of the early 2000s Disney Channel movies, which it reminded a lot of other people too. And the thing about this is like a lot of people for some bizarre reason hate it, but I really like it. And I don't understand why it gets such like an average rating and stuff. Now there are some weak moments in there, some things that are slightly rushed, some things that could have been a little bit more better and climactic and stuff. But all in all, it is a decent, good movie. It has a great cast. It has a pretty unique storyline to it that I just really didn't know where this was going at first. So as I'm still having Disney Plus, I haven't got rid of it yet, and so as I still have it, this came across on my radar, and I'm just like, well, this kind of looks interesting. I don't know what the world this is about. Why is that one girl dressed like a princess, kind of, and everybody else isn't? And then I'm all like, oh, wait a minute, that's that Andy Mack girl, and I haven't even seen that Andy Mack show yet. And so I'm all like, well, I guess I'll watch this to see how she acts and stuff like that. And then at some point I'll watch Andy Mack and I know she has that Disney Plus Doogie Howser rebooted show. I haven't seen that yet. I'm not into medical dramas, but I'll probably check it out before I get rid of Disney Plus and stuff. And so I watched the movie and I was very thrilled and everything. Like I like this a whole lot more than I like some of the Marvel Disney Plus shows, especially Miss Marvel. I started rewatching that again only because some people say it got interesting. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna see what's interesting. And then they say they getting more into like Pakistani culture. I'm like, oh cool, I'll get to learn about that. And so I'm watching it and I'm still just not getting into this show. I'm very confused as to what's going on. 6 episodes just isn't enough to tell a complete story. And but I like the tone of this movie a whole lot more than that and that of Moon Knight and stuff, and some of the Winter Soldier, Falcon stuff. Some of it, not all of it. That was a pretty good show too. And so it's just kind of like, yeah. So I just kind of wish like more of that superhero stuff that they're putting out. They want to do Miss Marvel as a teeny bopper type thing. Why couldn't they do it cool like this? You know what I'm saying? So when this started, I was all kind of like, what is this about? Because I couldn't right figure it out. So basically, the premise is this. There's a bunch of royal people here, princesses and princes, and they normally have like more than one sibling. For some bizarre reason, which is never explained, the second born child develops superpowers. And they place in this society where they're supposed to protect the world and stuff. But not everybody wants to be a superhero. Some wants to be a supervillain. Because some people just want the power of their throne. And so there's a man who is in captivity and everything. And he's looking to escape. And so it's kind of like, really like, who is this dude? You know what I'm saying? But he does eventually escape and everything. And like, who is he talking to? So anyway, we see this one girl. She is the princess. She is second born. She has no idea she has her powers. And so she's very, very, very rebellious and everything. This is the girl who played Andy Mack. And, her acting's pretty good in this. There are some things she needs to like work on, like certain expressions and not stay in one place for like too long. But other than that, her acting's pretty good and everything. I like it. And so she's super, super, super rebellious and everything. And she's in a band with her best friend Mike. Now, at first, I assumed this was a Disney Channel movie that just went over to Disney Plus. But then I'm all like, well, hold up, are they going to a nightclub? That can't be Disney Channel. I'm like, well, hold up. those are some short booty shorts. I'm just like, that can't be Disney Channel. I'm like, that is a short mini skirt. But then I found out it's a Disney Plus thing. So I guess Disney Plus has a little bit more of an edge to it. And I'm just surprised. I'm just like, dude, how is she getting away with wearing that stuff? And so anyways, her and her friend are in the band, and she's defiant of her mom, and she doesn't really like her sister that much because her sister's gonna be the queen, and her coronation is coming up soon. So her and her friend, they sneak into like a club and everything, and while they sneak into it, she somehow saw from a faraway distance the code to the keypad, and he doesn't understand how she was able to do that. Well, something happens in the club. I completely forget what, but her and her friend get arrested. And so her mom finds out, pissed, and puts her in this weird kind of summer school, boarding school thing. And as she's there, she meets a bunch of other people. And so, like, she meets this one girl named January, and she's very chatty and just wants to talk to her. She's like, hi, my name is this, and I'm from here, and blah, 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 blah. Every person she meets, right? And she's very annoying, but it turns out, like, she has the ability to absorb other people's powers, similar to that of Rogue, just by touching them. But she doesn't know she has her powers yet either. We're introduced to Roxana. She is the preppy girl at the school that Sam goes to, and Sam doesn't like her. Now, Roxana, she's very into herself. She's always on her phone, talking to her Instagram people, this and that, being rude to everybody else. And it turns out her power is invisibility, which she has no idea she has powers yet. There's Mateo, the boy who's so silent and just stays to himself, and nobody realizes he's in the room and everything. And that kind of annoys him. He wants to be seen. He wants people to pay attention to him. Now, he does not have the power of invisibility. He's just a super nerd. And he has the ability to control bugs, make them do whatever he wants. But he doesn't know that yet. And last is Tumor. No, not Cancer. That is his name. Tuma. Tuma. But they say it like tumor, but it's Tuma and everything. And he's the very flashy, think he's all that kind of guy, doesn't want to be there. And he said he got in trouble because him and his friends burnt down the science lab at their old school. He has the ability to control people's minds and make them do what he wants, but he doesn't know it yet. They meet their professor, Professor Jake. He comes in, lets everybody know he has a boyfriend. So Disney is trying to be more LGBT diverse, but we don't see it. We just hear it. Like, he just says he has that, like, for real quick, and that's it. He has the ability to multiply himself. And just like James from X-Men. So he shows them his powers, and then he does kind of like, whoa, what's going on? He's all like, y'all have superpowers too. And then he explains to them and everything about second borns. And the person who's in charge of this like little school thing, it turns out to be that of Sam's mom. And she is pissed because her mom kept that a secret. And so her mom is played by the lady who played Elektra in Daredevil. And her mom has a British accent. Doesn't explain why, but she just does. And so basically they tell them they want them to be part of the organization. If you fail the test, you have your power stripped and your mind wiped. So yeah, they have to pass. So all of a sudden, they all discover their powers at the same time. A little convenience, that's the part that's rushed. And so he's pushing them to their limit, making them do tests to learn how to use their powers and control them. Sam is having the hardest time, as well as Roxana. But the guys are having in January having the easiest time. So Mateo decides he's going to move objects by using like flies and bugs and stuff like that. So that's basically what he does. And so now Tuma realizes that the reason why his friends helped him burn down the school was because he controlled them and did not know it and stuff. And so basically he pushes both like Samantha really to her limit. And so it's a cool little montage and stuff. It's nice to see them use and develop and learn their powers. Well, as they're sleeping, they have their first task. Somebody wants to steal some type of crown jewels and everything. So they are supposed to stand still, but no, Sam doesn't do that. She instructs her team, kinda. And so they all go in one place and they stop the bad guy, but there's another bad guy who steals the crown. James is pissed and is not very happy about that. So at some point in time, they meet this strange man and he attacks them. And so like he just like he has the power to move things with his mind and his hands. Well, what's his name is trying to use this power on him to Ma. It's not working because the dude is too powerful and stuff. And they're all getting their butt kicked. And so like what is it? Sam is supposed to stay there, but she defies orders again and chases after him because he calls her Snowflake and she doesn't understand why. And so, like, when she chases after him, he attacks her again. Jake comes in, does the whole multiple thing, but gets his butt whooped. And then in comes January to steal that dude's powers and flings him halfway across the forest. So when she talks to like her mom and stuff, Sam asks her, why did this dude call me Snowflake? Only my dad did that. And so it turns out that man is Uncle Edmund and everything. And she doesn't even remember him because it was so young when she was younger. And it turns out her dad did not die in the plane crash. Edmund killed him. Why? He wants the throne and everything. And so like since he's now recaptured and stuff, what's her name? Sam is even more mad at her mom and this and that. Well, at some point in time, like the team is talking and they're all like, if we don't pass, we're gonna have our minds wiped and powers taken. So Sam decides, you know what, let's just have fun. So they all go to the beach and they goof around. It's a little out of place, but at least it's a nice bonding moment. So Sam and January, they're talking, they're playing like, some band instruments, and Sam has forgotten that she blew off Mike, and he's upset. He sees those two playing, and he gets so pissed, he just doesn't want to talk to her no more. Well, now it's time for the coronation and everything, and Sam and Eleanor, her sister, aren't getting along like normal and everything, and she's talking about like how she has to be the responsible daughter after dad died, and why you such a troublemaker, blah blah blah, and all this other stuff, and it upsets Sam the way she leaves and everything. Well, at some point in time, as the rest of the team is at the coronation, Tuma wants like this lady's peanuts or whatever, or sunflower seeds, so he tries to use his power on her, but realizes, wait, his power is gone, so what the world happened? So then he looks around and he asks the team, where's January? So it turns out she took his powers, but why? And so like it turns out January is a villain and she's working with Uncle Edmund for some reason, but we don't know why yet. This was a little rush, nothing really led up to it. So this is a true twist, one that nobody saw coming. I know I didn't see coming and everything. Okay, most twists are kind of like built up, but this just came out of nowhere. And so like she uses Toma power for the team and she makes them go and she locks them up in like a holding cell and she tells them this is for your own good and everything. So I'm all like, okay, she's the villain, but why is she protecting them and stuff? Well, this is what's going on. Oh, Sam's not there. Sam's someplace else. So Mateo uses one of his bees to find Sam. So it turns out the reason why she turned is because she wants her throne from her brother, but she doesn't want to kill nobody. And so she's going to have Uncle Edmund do it, and he's going to help her get the throne and stuff. Now, he stole this DNA type of weird device thing, nanotechnology, where you encode it with your DNA and make it do whatever you want. he is going to kill everybody at the coronation who is of royal blood. That is why she locked them up in the holding cell so they won't be affected. Because she doesn't want to hurt them either and stuff. But, and so then the bee finds, like, Sam, and she uses her power to see what's going on. She sees her uncle, so she runs to try to like stop him. But then she goes and frees, like, her. She goes and gets Mike, and Mike helps her out, and so Mike knocks out January and stuff. And then so after that, they free the friends and stuff. So they all use their powers against Uncle Edmund, but it's a very fast fight scene. It was too rushed. They basically just use their powers once. They get the device, and then Sam is like running in her princess dress, and she's wearing biker gloves for some reason. And it's kind of weird. She's just taking off running. And that's that scene I always saw like on the internet and stuff. And so like how they stop him is ridiculous too. It's just the whole anticlimactic like scene at the end was just too rushed. And so Sam is in a room because he's now trying to kill Sam. At first he wasn't, but now he's just like, screw it. And he's throwing rocks at her and everything, like big old bricks and stuff. So she goes into like a room because she realizes, wait a minute, the device he had around his neck, kind of like a mutant collar from X-Men. If she rigs a bunch of them together, she can trap him on like a little force field thing. It doesn't explain how she's that smart or how the other ones are that smart to jerry rig it, but that's what I'm saying, it's too rushed. And so Mike is on the ceiling and he like has the device, and he tells Edmund that Sam gets out the room, he turns on the device, and somehow the nanobots suck him up in like a little jar container. I don't know how, but the nanobots, so whatever. So the day is saved and everything. Sam and her sister talking about like forging a new path together and everything. It turns out that the ending's also rushed too, and they explaining everything. The mom's explaining how like Edmund's in a holding cell again. January got away and she left a message talking about come and find me. So she wants to be found so she can do like havoc on them. And so they get their new uniforms and now they're part of the team and they're gonna go stop a robbery. And it's just pretty much rushed towards the end. But all in all, everything else was pretty interesting and stuff. They should have spent more time on like the action. They should have spent more time on them using their powers to stop like Edmund and stuff. That would have been more epic. So I understand why some people it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? But if they would have had that, it would have been like perfect. But all in all, it's a good movie and people shouldn't like skip it. They should totally watch it just to see, because it's different and it's unique. Like who would ever come up with a royal person, second born, getting superpowers for some reason, you know what I'm saying? But they should have explained some things a little bit more and elaborated on some things a whole lot more. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.